On a formal note, I invite Mr. Ajay George Verghese, Managing Director and CEO of Bifa Drug Laboratories Private Limited. So welcome to the session. Also, a very warm welcome to Mr. Vimal Govind MK, co-founder and CEO of Gen Robotic Innovations Private Limited. Can we have a round of applause? I am sure we had a very energetic lunch. Can we have a round of applause for all our speakers? Thank you. I also invite the lady, the shining lady on the stage, Ms. Sheila DS. Ms. Sheila, the CEO of Space Lab Analytics and Dynamics Private Limited. Welcome, ma'am, to this session. With no further ado, let's move on. Let's listen to the people who have walked the journey. I request Mr. Ajay George Verghese, Managing Director. So before Sir moves to the podium, I'll have a very short round of introduction about Mr. Ajay George Verghese. Mr. Ajay George Verghese, Managing Director and CEO of Bifa Drug Laboratories Private Limited, has played a pivotal role in modernizing traditional Ayurvedic knowledge to a global standard. Under his adept leadership, spanning 3 decades, he has transformed the family business founded in 1929 into a widely recognized and international brand. Today, Bifa Drug Laboratories offers over 290 Ayurvedic wellness and therapeutic products across more than 20 countries. A skilled orator and passionate advocate for Ayurveda, he also serves as a convener of the Confederation of Ayurvedic Renaissance Kerala. Sir, please.
Thank you so much for that wonderful introduction. And I'm sure that after lunch, this is going to be a very difficult process for me to keep the crowd entertained. Nevertheless, I'll try to do what I can do best, and I'll try to make it as informative as possible. So first of all, let me congratulate, these organizers to have organized such a wonderful event, because right from morning, I think this is probably one of the first events where we had researchers coming and reverse pitching to the industry. I think that's something that I found very interesting, because it's like a startup pitching, right? You have to come out with your wares and really tell before the public what you've really done. And I think that's a great start, and congratulations for that wonderful beginning. But one thing which I felt in the morning is like, it would have been nice if we had about 30 to 40% of the seats filled by industrialists here. I counted about 4 to 6, because the whole agenda of this meeting was, in fact, to get more collaboration. And if we would have had about 30 to 40% of the seats, I'm sure all the technologies out here would have been already sold, plus you would have got a lot more leads to really do work in your research institutions. Because one feeling that we all have is research has an end. And when we really go into institutions, what we unfortunately see is all the researchers very excited about what they have, what they've created, what are the number of patents or publications they have. So I happen to also go to Mahatma Gandhi University, so I keep asking them one thing: how many of these technologies, what you have, has been ever commercialized? And normally the answer is very few, or little, or sometimes nothing was commercialized. So this is where I guess the irony of research industry collaboration lies. And I think I am a part of CIA, and I've been working very hard with CIA and TIE, all entrepreneurial organizations. What I feel is we need to develop a kind of a culture where research goes to industry and industry comes to research. Or maybe if we have problems, we should come to the universities, because there are brilliant researchers. They are extraordinarily great, academically great people, I would say. I've never seen anybody who's not good. But the question is, how do we take it to the public? How do we bring what you create to a common man? Because a lot of what we've seen today has been great, provided it reaches people. So with this outset, I would like to tell you about my little bit of experience with technology transfer. In fact, I represent a company which is 96-year-old. I don't think I look 96-year-old, but the company is 96-year-old, and I'm on the 3rd generation. In fact, it's a company founded by my grandfather about 96 years back. It was founded as usual as an Ayurvedic company in Kerala. But when you think about Ayurveda, I know that you'll always think about bottles and black bottles and brown bottles and liquids and bitter things. No. In 1929, when the company was founded, in 1930, we came out with the first product called Blood in the Raksha, which was a hematinic, which is a good iron supplement, one of the most palatable iron supplements at that point of time. In fact, it was made on a benchmark of an international formulation called as Wing Carnus. Wing Carnus is still available in duty-free shops, which in fact became the base of the company, and it made the company what it is. So it gave us a base. I'm talking about 1929, 30s. So from there, the journey started. We went on developing proprietary formulations. What we see today, we bring in different formulations from Ayurveda, started making it into a formulation, which is like one formulation for this product. It's like, we call it patent. It's not patent, it's proprietary formulations. So we were very strong on that. 55, we started getting into pharmaceutical manufacturing, because at that point of time, it was not very glamorous to be in Ayurveda, because post-independence, Ayurveda was considered as a poor man's medicine. Ayurvedic physician was always seen down or not very well accepted. And there was a bit of diffidence among public to take Ayurvedic products. Then we got the license for pharmaceutical manufacturing. And we started manufacturing. We started supplying to the government of Kerala. And we had a very strong pharmaceutical division where we made tablets, capsules, and syrups. Went on with that for about 2 decades. So 1970s, then again my grandfather, the innovator, visionary, thought, why not make this bitter Ayurvedic kashayas into tablets? So then started our next set of our journey, where we made the first tablet formulation, which looked exactly like what a modern tablet would look like, because we used to use coating, and then it was palatable, presentable. Remember, in 1974, an Ayurvedic formulation which was coated, which looked like Cadbury's gems. So that's how it was. So that is where our journey started again. And 70s to 90s, we were probably the first and the largest manufacturer of Ayurvedic tablets. So this is where the second round of the company started, and from 91 to 2000, see, we are a company, one thing in business, in industry, one thing is always there. We never think anything is enough. We keep rewriting, redrawing, we keep redefining ourselves. Then we went on to start formulations. We found that we had formulations for lifestyle diseases, but nobody ever came to an Ayurvedic doctor for lifestyle diseases. Then we went into airports. We put up our first store into the airport in Cochin. And today we have built up about 15 stores across India with very high premium products, premium Ayurvedic products, which can be priced anywhere from 600 to 2,450 rupees. So this is what is the background of the company. So what I was trying to tell you in the last 5 minutes is not what we have achieved as a company. It was basically how a company innovated, redefined from its traditional roles, and redefined what it was to what it has to be, and became very consumer oriented. So why I say this is because, see, a lot of these technologies, what we talk here was products. Now, how many of us have ever thought how this would have to be transformed when it has to go to a consumer? So my only basic, big, loud question to the honest audience is, you're all researchers. Do you ever think about what your research should ultimately be to the person who has to consume? So this is the process that we have to all start thinking about. Because we can all create things. But how many of these things can go to, let's say, a person next to you, a person sitting behind you, a person whom you see on the road? How can this be user-friendly? How can this go to people? So if you can start thinking those lines, then you can understand everything else what the industry would need, would demand, or would be requiring from you. I think this is where we have to start thinking. You're also making a product ultimately. If you start thinking about research as something that has to go to someone, then you'll start thinking about what it has to be. I think that is one element that I would underline, because I was sitting here right from morning until afternoon listening to things. But then I said, how can it be more market-oriented? How can it be more oriented to the users of this technology? Why can't we think like that? So this is one thought which I would like to share in this session, because it's a great audience, all academic luminaries, and I'm sure that if there is something where we can make a small change, that would really create a big change in the state and definitely among the research community and the industry here, because we have got extraordinarily good industries in Kerala. Because one thought we have is Kerala does not have anything. Kerala has got extraordinarily good industries, world-class industries. A lot of biotechnology industries are from Kerala, which are doing very well. You have definitely Teruma, Penpal into biomedical sciences. A lot of companies from Kerala. Dent King is there in Kerala. We have Synthite. We have probably 11 to 20 world-class companies in food sector, extraction sector, and I think biotechnology is definitely going to be the next frontier for Kerala. And I think there is a huge scope because we have got an extraordinarily good biodiverse plant base here, good academicians, plenty of students who have studied these sciences. So there is a huge scope. And with the Bio 3 policy, I think we find there's a huge opportunity unlocking in Kerala. And if you look at the industrial policy, one thing is very clear. Kerala is not good for polluting industries, big industries. So this is where the opportunity lies. And I was listening to Anup today. He was talking about the support system, the startup ecosystem, the funding, all that is there. So the question is, and we have a Bio 360 park already in place. So this is all making an ecosystem. For any industry to grow, we have to have the ecosystem. We think it's money. It's not money. It is primarily the ecosystem that is there. And I think the ecosystem is already here. The infrastructure is there. The funding is there. And geographically, this is a place where there's a lot of plant resources and scientific resources that are available. So this is just a background of why this industry, why research, and why in Kerala is what I was trying to figure out in this session. Now, specifically coming to my experience with technology transfers, I think we are in fact one of the, I'm sure from Ayurveda, we would have bought the most technologies from various institutes. We bought a technology for human papilloma virus from Dr. Talwar, from GP Talwar, from Talwar Research Foundation, which is doing extremely well, mostly in the US now, because you all know that HPV has only got 2 vaccines, and then we've got a formulation which can reverse HPV with an extraordinarily good clinical trial. It's funded by the government of India. The transfer of technology has already been done. The product is launched in the US. And I think in a couple of weeks, we are getting a distributor in the US to also distribute the product because they find it as a $1 billion opportunity. We are not sure whether we'll be $1 billion, but the market is a $1 billion opportunity. And there are no formulations for HPV as of now in the market. We've already bought another product for vaginosis. In fact, it's a phytopharmaceutical with a probiotic. So that's another formulation which we've already bought. We've already bought the technology from DRDO for cordyceps sinensis, which costs about a lakh of rupees for a kilo. We're getting a technology transfer from them. We've got the first technology from BITS Pilani, and we've got a few more technology from NRDC also. So what I'm trying to say is, this is all happening here. The question is, are we as industry, are we as researchers doing these transfers more frequently? Are we all earning what we're supposed to be earning out of what we have created? And the scope is there. I'm standing here as a live example who has done it. So the bigger question is, who will take it? How will it work? What is the process? What is the mechanism? Who will do it? Here we are, the industry is here. Only thing is probably we need to have better collaborations, more dialogues, and whole lot of conversations. Some things won't happen, some things will happen, some things may not. That's fine. But let's have conversations. We talk with a lot of these institutes here. Maybe we would not have started something, but eventually we know for sure there's something that is definitely going to happen. So there is scope. What I'm saying is don't hesitate. The biggest doubt we all have is whether this is going to work. Let me tell you, it will work because we've already done it. Not that everything was easy. Maybe, it was a lot of work for us because licensing, regulations, formulation, everything is a challenge because what you get is only a prototype, maybe only a set of documents. To make it market friendly is a whole lot of work for the industry, but we've already done it, and I feel there is good potential that I feel transfer of technology has in a state like Kerala, and especially when we look at a country like India where now there's a good, strong direct to consumer market. So that is another opportunity that I can see as a big enabler, because earlier if you think what can I do as an individual, as a company, today you can compete with the best of whoever it is there in the world through e-commerce. You don't need huge capital, you only need a good product. You need a market friendly product, or if you can address a need, probably that is where your business starts. And anybody can do it. I mean, it's not like a rocket science today because you have Startup Mission giving about 15 lakh grant, 30 lakh grant. So all of that is there. So what I'm trying to say is, I wanted to narrate my experience, my business experience, my experience with transfer of technology, and I feel that there is good potential scope, and anybody sitting in the room can do it. You don't have to be a business person to do that. But definitely the scope is very strong, and I'm sure that a lot of people in this room would eventually start either transferring their technologies quickly to the market or probably would be taking their product to the market. I think that's something that we should all start thinking about, because the opportunity is very ripe and we're all too excited. Because now if I look at our company, we are going to the next thought process. We are now into fragrances. The latest launches were fragrances. We are launching 14 fragrances. We've already launched 8, another 14 more are coming out, and we're making it as good as an international perfume. And believe me, where do you think are the ingredients coming from? Not from France, not from Delhi, from Kerala. We've got one of the largest perfume ingredient suppliers from Kerala. So we work with them. We're on the process of developing about 24. This is a 2-year journey that we are talking about. Next can be, I don't know, we're thinking about foods and beverages. So we're talking with some other company for functional foods and beverages. So it's all moving away now. I said we were pioneers in tablets. We were pioneers in syrups and capsules. Today we don't anymore get excited, because I think that's something you can do. Now what's the next thing? So this is where we are moving on to, and I feel the scope is huge and potential is huge. Application areas are huge. So it's all about what you can imagine today, what you can create today, and tomorrow what you can bring to the market. So I believe, I think I would have been in time, I hope. And I'm not sure whether I've done clear justice to you, but I'm just trying to, I thought if it was 15 minutes, so I thought I'll just try to narrate my story, give you a brief about the potential, the opportunity in Kerala, and also give you a small shot on what was my experience with technology and transfers and how it can be commercialized. And going forward, what is the potential that we have here in this country, in this state? I think all what we need to have is tremendous amount of confidence, a great plan, and the will to move forward. With this, I would like to thank you, and I hope I would have kept you all awake for about 10-15 minutes. And thank you very much for being a great audience. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. That was Mr. Ajay George Varghese, who has preserved the essence of traditional Ayurveda and also elevated it into a trusted brand. Thank you so much, sir. We can have few questions from the audience, maybe after we hear from all these speakers. So moving on to the next speaker for today, it's now my pleasure to introduce someone who truly embodies the spirit of innovation and resilience. We have Mr. Vimal Govind MK, a young and dynamic entrepreneur who has turned ideas into impact. Mr. Vimal Govind MK, co-founder and CEO of Gen Robotic Innovations Private Limited in Thiruvananthapuram, Kerala, is a mechanical engineering graduate from the University of Calicut and a participant in the Royal Academy of Engineers Technology Commercialization Program. He leads the development of AI-powered robotic solutions tackling societal and industrial challenges, including projects like Bandicoot, the world's first robotic scavenger, and several others to his credit. He has been recognized with awards such as Forbes Asia 30, Under 30, and Pride of Kerala, and is a Life Fellow of the Royal Academy of Engineering. He skillfully combines expertise in robotics, AI, and product design with technology commercialization. Over to the dynamic speaker for today.
Thank you. Thank you so much. My introduction is here. I'm starting from what Ajay sir is actually mentioned here. It's a great point. I seen a lot of researchers. Even I was one of the researcher during my BTech, was working on different technology, and most of the time it just sit in the lab. So I also thought about it. We just need to take this research into the ground. That's how my entrepreneurial journey is actually started after my campus. So myself, Vimal Govind MK, I'm the co-founder of Gen Robotic Innovation. We are innovating beyond technology. That's what our motto is. Our journey started in 2015 from our campus. I was studying mechanical engineering. That's where I encountered a lot of questions about research, about technology, about life, people. So much of things came to me during that time. I had a great passion in following robotics during that time, so I pursued that as my journey's first, thing to pursue. This is a robotic exoskeleton we have created in our campus. It's called Generation 1. It's a mechanical exoskeleton, 14 feet tall. We can actually do whatever staying inside. If you look at, there's a person inside. Whatever the person does inside the exoskeleton will be replicated into a amplified form. So that's what this particular exoskeleton does. Exoskeletons are this type of technology. You may be seen the movie called Iron Man. Iron Man, he's having an exoskeleton. It gives him superpower. So the idea when I was in campus was also to do something like that. This is a small video of that technology. There's a sound also with it. This video is having a sound also with it. Sorry for the technical difficulty. Sound is not coming. So we'll play it like that. I'll explain what it is. So this is how we introduce the technology in our campus. Give me some time. So, 10 വർഷം മുന്നേ ചെയ്തൊരു project we have done around 10 years back, and we again worked on the technology another year, and the size we reduced, and we increased the capability of the exoskeleton to lift around 100 kg. So this was the second level of technology. So everything is started like a research, and it was in the designs, it was in the theory, it was in the paper. Suddenly it is came to the life in the form of a product, a kind of a prototype, and the world started to see it. And this is how we got our initial traction of people attending us on, we are doing something in exoskeleton, in robotics, and that's how our journey started. This is again G2 video, generation 2's video. It's having some limitation on the walking and everything, but the entire weight of the exoskeleton, 100 kg, will also be carried through the legs. The person does not need to experience anything. It's a completely pneumatic powered exoskeleton. We tried to take the form of an Iron Man suit, so that's why it came in the color of red and gold. So again, the paper we have worked on this technology It's got selected during my BTech time itself by American Society for Research. They called me for a paper presentation in Singapore. And that's how I also recognized personally myself, whatever that we are doing here in our campus, it's having a global value. I got the research proposal presentation. I went there, and that was my first paper presentation also, and that was my first international travel as well. And even domestic also, I didn't travel before in flight. The first flight journey is also international one. And I got the opportunity to present it in front of different researchers from US, Japan, Singapore, many other areas where research is happening very great way. But I got the best paper presentation award during that particular event. That changed my perspective because I was not understanding the value of works that we are doing here. So, but whatever we are doing here in research and academically is also having a lot of potential in the entire aspect of the world. When I came back, the entire perspective of the college itself changed. That's the milestone we have were able to create during that time. So that's the time I thought that I need to use this knowledge to convert it into real solution for various types of problems rather than following a movie fantasy. Hopefully, Kerala people may be aware of this particular incident happened during the time of 2015-16 timeline, where 3 people are died inside a manhole in Calicut. One auto rickshaw driver also died in this particular incident, and this is actually took the attention of us also into this problem. It become a lot of issue because it is illegal to send people into manhole and do this kind of a job. But still, a particular caste and particular people, probably they may be from other states coming here doing it. Another state, a particular caste is also doing this kind of job. So when we heard about this situation, we thought, we are sending machines to Mars, another planet, and controlling it from here. So it's not a technology problem. It's rather nobody is actually taking the technology and utilizing for a problem like this. So that's why we thought of taking the robotics and AI to solve manual scavenging as a problem statement. So this is in the world also it's a first of a kind initiative. In India, every 5 days, one person is dying due to manual scavenging. It's more than the number of people dying in our borders. And it's a huge problem because if this infrastructure of underground drainage is not properly maintained, entire city will get affected due to various issues. So we identified this is something we should address. We put our, and even if you look at this as a global problem, every part of the world, even in US also, the entries to this underground drainage is called manholes. The name manholes is because it's designed for human being. Most of the manholes is even right now designed in such a way that it gives steps for people to enter into this confined space, this inhuman condition to work. There are accidents happen in even developed countries like US also. It's been captured here. So with all our robotics passion, we entered into this industry of sanitation, confined space management with robotics, with a motto, let's change manholes to robo. We should not be calling manholes. We have technology, we don't need human to do this kind of a job. And that's how we created a Bendigood robot, world's first robotic scavenger. We take the pride of solving a problem like this using robotics first time in the world. And we introduced that first time in Trivandrum, and our Honorable CM is launched this product in Trivandrum. And this was the team behind, just after our campus we did this project. And then we identified one bigger issue in a country like India. Unemployment is big and it's worse than manual scavenging. And that's why people are doing, this particular job, this inhuman job. It's because unemployment is much worse than manual scavenging. We tried to solve this problem also using technology. We created a user interface. After the launch of the technology, it was roughly a month to train the existing workers to operate the robot, because that way we does not create a job loss for these people. But then we identified the 1 month of training is really big. We need to reduce it. So around another year, our entire effort was put along with the people like Google Google helped us also because this is a noble mission, and fortunately, we got a lot of support from many, industrial leaders on solving this particular problem. Google is one of the entity. They given their support through Google Launchpad, helping us on working on the user interface, so that we made it so simple that now we can train a existing manual scavenger within a daytime. So that's the level of integration of machine learning, integration of AI and foolproofing we have done, and simplified the design also to the existing people, that even without a lot of expertise, they are able to use a complex machine like robots. And that's the power of, again, research. Research have a lot of potential to help the mankind in many ways. This was one of the case study where 2016, that picture was a real picture. It's not AI generated. He was in a real manhole flooded with water. He was trying to clean the manhole. This was the condition before the launch of Bendigo robot, and he has become our first operator in Trivandrum to operate the robotic device. We are now working in entire infrastructure under Kerala Water Authority in Kerala. We are maintaining from Kerala, Trivandrum to the water authority's location till Kannur. Wherever now sewer systems are incorporated, we are also a part of the process of managing it without any human entry into that. So these are some of the milestones. This is the product. Again, after a few iterations we have done, we got the honor to launch our product with our Honorable Prime Minister and UN General Secretary. And after that, the project is expanded into 19 states and 3 UTs. We are working different states, different culture, different weather conditions. We have done all that research on incorporating the product to handle that situation. We deployed more than 300 plus robots. And along with our journey, we have rehabilitated 6,000 plus people through different schemes, different programs. Some of them is been a part of our journey. Some of them is migrated into different jobs. We given that as also a foundational level activity through a NGO. And again, we have identified a lot of potential in the confined space and sanitation market. We made the Bendigo Mini electric version. It's a completely solar and electric hybrid. And then we created a Bendigo Mobility Plus, where after taking the waste, it's also having the processing part of it. So we are trying to start to give a end-to-end solution to various issues in the sanitation using robotics and AI. This is another issue, like manholes. There are sewer wells, big wells, where all the manholes has been connected. So the city waste will get into this kind of wells. This is a real picture we got from Tamil Nadu. A person is doing this particular job. And this is more hazardous, but it's not very much come into public because most of the STPs and sewer wells are remote. We started to create a solution for it. This is our latest robotic technology for clearing the wells. Again, we use robotics research, whatever the know-how we are having, to deploy this one as well. It's been now commissioned in Trivandrum, Chennai, Bangalore, those locations. The product is already been started deploying. Again, some of the things, we deployed one in Leh also, one of our wheelboard technology in Leh. In our Trivandrum airport, one technology is there, and we started exporting it to Malaysia also, similar technology, because this area is more crucial in terms of productivity by other advanced countries as well. So this is exporting also now. We created a platform for integrating all the technology in order to monitor them, in order to integrate them into the city's planning, smart city planning and all that, and operations also. The software called GCRO, it's been accessible in mobile phone also. So now, if you look at, we are a platform which is having all the technology which is required for handling sewer systems, confined space management, and waste management kind of areas. So we use our robotic expertise from manhole cleaning, levered it to different problem statement, and started to support the city people, government office, even MNCs who's having their own internal infrastructure to be maintained without any human interventions. Again, we didn't stop in waste or sewage environment. We pivoted into different verticals. The similar things we are doing in the sanitation, we are doing in oil and gas, because oil and gas is also having confined space infrastructure. We are very actively working with all the refineries in India, and we started working with the chemical industries, water treatment industries, many industries. Wherever confined space is there, the system can be managed. And we've seen some of the host sewer system that is in India. Because of that, handling other countries' civil systems also, which is with more civic practices and all that, because of that, it's become much easier for us. And other countries also giving that as a very good USP for us to call into other countries solving their infrastructure related issues also. Entirely different vertical was medical and mobility. We are attending a problem called gait disability. Gait disability, people with a spinal cord injury, Parkinson disease or stroke, if they experience this kind of a disease which affects their brain and motor functions of movement, this require neuro rehabilitation. So currently this is being given through manual modes, and manual modes are really inefficient. Not just inefficient, and the recovery after the situation into the physical health in a normal form is very slow and not perfect. So because of this reason, we started implementing robotics for neuro rehabilitation related in physical treatment, and gait is one of the first thing we started to attend. So this is G-Gator. If you look at, we started in an exoskeleton like an Iron Man. G-Gator is having also an exoskeleton in the lower torso, so that it will give training to the people who experience disability. So that's what G-Gator does. We did the same. Currently, this technology was available in the world even before we create this technology. But the cost of the technology is very high, so that people are not able to afford it. So we reduced the cost. We invented different methodology by qualitatively reduce the cost by inventing different technology for it. We have done it using pneumatics, and that's another patent we are having, which is called G-plot technology. With this, we are able to reduce the cost of the existing technology around 4 times, which is made a large, acceptance in India. Within a year time, we've been delivered more than the foreign players altogether. If you count altogether foreign players present in India in the physical medicine and rehabilitation industry, we are now more than them. We deployed that much. We have been deploying most of the districts now in Kerala. Kerala, even in Trivandrum, we are having it in General Hospital. That means the advanced technology like robotics and AI, we are placed in GH through different schemes, and this has been available to normal people. They are able to get this kind of an advanced technology within a lower cost, and even in GH, it is not even, they are not even charging. The advanced treatment, which is only available in foreign countries, now it is available in most of the parts in Kerala, and we are expanding to other parts also, Bangalore, Hyderabad, and all that. So this is some of the hospital chains we are established this technology as well. Again, in this segment, within a year time, we have identified that pediatric is a different use case. Pediatric, the problem statement is if children are, in children also due to cerebral palsy, even sometimes due to spinal cord injury and different type of muscular dystrophy, they also require gait rehabilitation treatment. But their cooperation to the heavy machinery, if you see it like equipment, the cooperation was not that good, and since they are not much developed like an adult, logically talking to them does not make a lot of sense. So because of that, in a form factor of a penguin, we created a pediatric robotic device. It's a separate version, and in this, rather than the treatment, we also incorporated gamification, so that it's almost like they go for a play. That's how the treatment is being given to them in physical medicine rehabilitation. So because of that, this is also been now deploying in many children-specific hospitals in Kerala. And we have now different technology, upper body, again gait, and different type of VR-based rehabilitation games for people to get back to their recovery. This is one video. This is a spinal cord injury case. He was completely bedridden.
എൻ്റെ പേര് അരുൺ എന്നാണ്. ഞാൻ മലപ്പുറം ജില്ലയിലെ എടവണ്ണ സ്വദേശിയാണ്. ജനുവരി 14 ഉണ്ടായ ഒരു കാർ ആക്സിഡൻറ്റിലാണ് കാലിക്കട്ട് മിംസ് ഹോസ്പിറ്റലിൽ എന്നെ അഡ്മിറ്റ് ചെയ്തത്. അതിന് ശേഷമുള്ള ട്രീറ്റ്മെൻറ്റ് നമ്മളെ ബോഡി മൂവ്മെൻറ്റ്സ് വീണ്ടെടുക്കുക എന്നുള്ളതായിരുന്നു. കാരണം കംപ്ലീറ്റ് ബെഡഡായിട്ടായിരുന്നു ഞാൻ കാലിക്കട്ട് മിംസിൽ അഡ്മിറ്റ് ആയത്. അപ്പോൾ അവിടെ സർജറി വേണ്ടെന്ന് പറഞ്ഞതിന് ശേഷം ആ റീഹാബിലിറ്റേഷനിലൂടെ PMR ഡിപ്പാർട്ട്മെൻറ്റിലെ റീഹാബിലിറ്റേഷനിലൂടെ റിക്കവറി ചെയ്ത് ഏകദേശം ഒരു 7-8 മന്തിൽ റിക്കവറി ആകുമെന്നാണ് അവിടെ ഡോക്ടേഴ്സ് പറഞ്ഞത്. അതിൻ്റെ അടിസ്ഥാനത്തിൽ അവിടുന്ന് കാലിക്കറ്റ് മിംസിൽ നിന്നും എന്നെ അരീക്കോട് മദർ ഹോസ്പിറ്റലിലേക്ക് ഷിഫ്റ്റ് ചെയ്യേണ്ടായി. അപ്പോൾ ഇവിടെ വന്നതിന് ശേഷം പിന്നെ ഓരോ അനാലിസിസ് നടത്തി. അപ്പോൾ അവർ പിന്നെ അവരുടെ അസസ്മെൻറ്റിൽ ഇത് ഏകദേശം ഒരു 4-5 മന്ത് കൊണ്ടൊക്കെ റിക്കവറി ആകും എന്നാണ് പറഞ്ഞത്. ഒരു 18-ന് ട്രീറ്റ്മെൻറ്റ് സ്റ്റാർട്ട് ചെയ്തു. അപ്പോൾ മൂവ്മെൻ്റ് ഇല്ലാത്ത ഒരു അവസ്ഥയിൽ ഇവിടെയുള്ള തെറാപ്പിസ്റ്റുകൾ നമുക്ക് മോട്ടിവേഷനും അതേപോലെ മൈൻഡ് സപ്പോർട്ടും നന്നായിട്ട് തരികയുണ്ടായി. ദെൻ സ്ലോലി മൂവ്മെൻറ്റ് വരികയുണ്ടായി. അപ്പോൾ ഇവിടെയുള്ള PMR ഡിപ്പാർട്ട്മെൻറ്റിലെ തെറാപ്പിസ്റ്റുമാർ എല്ലാം തന്നെ OT ആണെങ്കിലും PT ആണെങ്കിലും അതേപോലെ സ്പീച്ച് ആണെങ്കിലും എല്ലാവരും വളരെ നല്ല രീതിയിലുള്ളൊരു സപ്പോർട്ടാണ് തന്നിട്ടുള്ളത്. അങ്ങനെ ഒരു 2 മന്തിന് ശേഷമാണ് നമുക്കൊരു ബെഡിൽ നിന്ന് എഴുന്നേറ്റ് ഇരിക്കാൻ പറ്റുന്ന ഒരു അവസ്ഥയിലേക്ക് എത്തിയത്. അങ്ങനെ 2 മന്തിന് ശേഷം സ്ലോലി വാക്കിങ്ങിലേക്ക് കടന്നു. അങ്ങനെ വാക്കിങ്ങിലേക്ക് കടന്നു കഴിഞ്ഞപ്പോഴാണ് പിന്നെ നമുക്ക് വാക്കിംഗ് സ്റ്റൈലിൽ ബുദ്ധിമുട്ടുണ്ട് എന്ന് മനസ്സിലായത്. അപ്പോൾ നടക്കുമ്പോൾ നമുക്ക് നോർമലി നമ്മൾ പണ്ട് നടന്ന പോലെ നമുക്ക് നടക്കാൻ കഴിഞ്ഞിരുന്നില്ല. അപ്പോൾ ഒരു ബാലൻസ് ഇല്ലാത്തൊരു പ്രശ്നം ഉണ്ടായിരുന്നു. അപ്പോഴാണ് ഹഫീസ മാം ഇവിടെ ജി ഗേറ്റർ നമ്മൾ റോബോട്ടിക് സെഷൻ ഉണ്ട് എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞു. അപ്പോൾ ദെൻ അതിലേക്ക് നെക്സ്റ്റ് ഒരു 2 മന്തിന് ശേഷം അതിലേക്ക് മാറുകയുണ്ടായി.
ഇവിടെ ഈ രോഗി വന്നത് ഒരു ആക്സിഡൻറ്റ് സംഭവിച്ചിട്ട് കഴുത്തിന് സർവൈക്കൽ സ്പൈനൽ കോഡ് ഇഞ്ചറി സംഭവിച്ച് കൈകാലുകൾ ബലക്കുറവ് വന്നിട്ട് റീഹാബിലിറ്റേഷന് വേണ്ടിയിട്ടാണ്. അപ്പോൾ നമ്മളിവിടെ പേഷ്യൻ്റ് വരുന്ന സമയത്ത് തന്നെ പേഷ്യൻ്റ് കിടക്കയിൽ നിന്ന് എഴുന്നേൽക്കുവാനോ സ്വന്തം കാര്യങ്ങൾ ചെയ്യാനൊന്നും പറ്റുന്നൊരവസ്ഥയിലായിരുന്നില്ല. സോ ഇവിടെ നമ്മുടെ ഡിപ്പാർട്ട്മെൻറ്റ് എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ ഫിസിക്കൽ മെഡിസിൻ റീഹാബിലിറ്റേഷൻ ഡിപ്പാർട്ട്മെൻറ്റിലെ ഓരോ രോഗിക്കനുസരിച്ചുള്ള ഒരു കസ്റ്റമൈസ്ഡ് റീഹാബിലിറ്റേഷൻ അപ്രോച്ചാണ് നൽകുന്നത്. ഇതിനകത്ത് രോഗിക്ക് ആവശ്യമുള്ള ഇപ്പോൾ ഫിസിയോതെറാപ്പി, ഓക്യുപ്പേഷണൽ തെറാപ്പി, ഇപ്പോൾ സ്പീച്ച് ആൻഡ് സോളോ തെറാപ്പി ആവശ്യമുള്ള പേഷ്യൻസിന് അതിനുള്ള സേവനങ്ങൾ ലഭ്യമാണ്. കൂടാതെ സൈക്കോളജി സർവീസസ് ഉണ്ട്. കൂടാതെ ഓരോ പേഷ്യൻറ്റിനും ആവശ്യമുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ കസ്റ്റമൈസ്ഡ് ഓർത്തോട്ടിക് ഡിവൈസസ് പ്രിസ്ക്രൈബ് ചെയ്ത് നൽകുന്നതും ഡോക്ടേഴ്സാണ്. സോ ഫിസിയാട്രിസ്റ്റുകളുടെ ഒരു മേൽനോട്ടത്തിലാണ് നമ്മുടെ ഒരു റീഹാബിലിറ്റേഷൻ ഇവിടെ നടക്കുന്നത്. സോ ഈ ന്യൂറോ റീഹാബിലിറ്റേഷനിൽ പ്രധാനം ഈ മൾട്ടി ഡിസിപ്ലിനറി അപ്രോച്ചാണ്. അതിലൂടെ നമ്മളൊരു ക്വാളിറ്റി റീഹാബിലിറ്റേഷൻ സർവീസാണ് പേഷ്യൻറ്റിന് പ്രൊവൈഡ് ചെയ്യുന്നത്. അതിൽ നമുക്കിവിടെ അഡ്വാൻസ്ഡ് റീഹാബിലിറ്റേഷൻ എക്യുപ്മെൻ്റ് ആയിട്ടുള്ള റോബോട്ടിക് ഗേറ്റർ, എനർജി ഗേറ്റർ പോലത്തെ സംവിധാനങ്ങളും ഉണ്ട്. അപ്പോൾ ഈ ഒരു പർട്ടിക്കുലർ പേഷ്യൻറ്റിന് ഞങ്ങൾ ഇതിൽ ഫിസിയോതെറാപ്പി, ഒക്യുപ്പേഷണൽ തെറാപ്പി, സൈക്കോളജി ആൻഡ് നമ്മുടെ റോബോട്ടിക് ഗേറ്റർ എന്നൊക്കെ ഉപയോഗിച്ചിട്ടാണ് റീഹാബിലിറ്റേഷൻ ചെയ്തിട്ടുള്ളത്. വളരെ നല്ല രീതിയിലുള്ളൊരു റിസൾട്ടാണ് നമുക്ക് ലഭിച്ചിട്ടുള്ളത്. ഈ പേഷ്യൻ്റ് ഇവിടെ നിന്ന് പോകുമ്പോൾ നടന്നിട്ടാണ് പോയിട്ടുള്ളത്. അപ്പോൾ വളരെ സന്തോഷമുണ്ട് ഇങ്ങനത്തെ ഒരു റീഹാബിലിറ്റേഷൻ പ്രോസസ്സിൽ നമുക്ക് ഭാഗഭാക്കാവാൻ സാധിക്കുന്നതിൽ.
അങ്ങനെ ഡെയിലി ഓരോ സെഷനും ജി ഗേറ്ററിൽ നമുക്കൊരു 30 മിനിറ്റ്സ് 35 മിനിറ്റ്സ് ഒരു 900 സ്റ്റെപ്സ് നമുക്ക് കിട്ടുകയുണ്ടായി. അങ്ങനെ ആ ഒരു കാലിൻ്റെ ഒരു മൂവ്മെൻറ്റ്സ് കൃത്യമായിട്ട് ഈ ഒരു ജി ഗേറ്ററിലൂടെ നമുക്ക് വീണ്ടെടുക്കാൻ കഴിഞ്ഞു എന്നുള്ളതാണ്. അപ്പോൾ അങ്ങനെ ഓരോ ദിവസം കഴിയുമ്പോഴും നമ്മൾ ആ ഒരു വാക്കിംഗ് സ്റ്റൈലിൽ ഇമ്പ്രൂവ് ചെയ്ത് വന്നു. അങ്ങനെ ഒരു ബാലൻസ് ഇല്ലാത്ത ഒരു ഘട്ടത്തിൽ നിന്നും ഒരു 15 ഡേയ്സ്, ഒരു 15 ദിവസം കഴിഞ്ഞ് 2 വീക്സ് ഒക്കെ കഴിഞ്ഞപ്പോഴത്തേക്ക് നമുക്കത് ഒരു സ്ലോലി ബാലൻസ്ഡ് ആയിക്കൊണ്ട് നമുക്ക് നടക്കാൻ ഉള്ള ആ രീതിയിലേക്ക് മാറി. അപ്പോൾ എന്തായാലും ഇത് ഒരു 3 മന്ത് കഴിഞ്ഞപ്പോൾ ഇവിടുന്ന് ഡിസ്ചാർജ് ചെയ്യുകയുണ്ടായി. പക്ഷെ ആ സമയത്തേക്കും നമ്മൾ നോർമലി ആരുടെയും സപ്പോർട്ടില്ലാതെ ഒറ്റയ്ക്ക് നടന്നു പോകാൻ പറ്റുന്ന ഒരു സിറ്റുവേഷനിലേക്ക് എത്തി. അപ്പോൾ ഇവിടെ നമ്മൾ അഡ്മിറ്റ് ചെയ്തിട്ടുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ നമുക്ക് എന്തായാലും വളരെ പെട്ടെന്ന് ഇവരുടെ ട്രീറ്റ്മെൻറ്റിൻ്റെയും അതേപോലെ സപ്പോർട്ടിൻ്റെയും അത് മോട്ടിവേഷൻ്റെയും ഒക്കെ അടിസ്ഥാനത്തിൽ വളരെ പെട്ടെന്ന് നമുക്ക് റിക്കവറിയായി ഇവിടുന്ന് പോകുന്ന ഒരു സാഹചര്യം എന്തായാലും ഉണ്ടാവും. അപ്പോൾ തീർച്ചയായിട്ടും ഈ ഒരു അവസാനത്തെ ഒരു സെഷൻ എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞു കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ നമ്മുടെ റോബോട്ടിക് ആയിട്ടുള്ള ജി ഗേറ്റർ സെഷൻ ആയിരുന്നു. അതിൽ നിന്ന് നമുക്കൊരു വാക്കിംഗ് സ്റ്റൈല് ഇമ്പ്രൂവ് ചെയ്യാൻ കഴിഞ്ഞു. അതേപോലെ ലെഗിൻ്റെ മൂവ്മെൻറ്റ്സ് ഒക്കെ കറക്റ്റായിട്ട് നമുക്ക് കിട്ടാനും ഇതിൽ നിന്ന് കഴിഞ്ഞിട്ടുണ്ട്.
That was the power of technology, and I believe Gen Robotics is more like a robotics and AI research organization. Our verticals are sanitation, confined space management, and medical is one of the particular vertical. And just about few more words about the future. We are working on advanced robotics. In that, this is GenBot, a multi-purpose robotic device, which is now we are designing for extreme environments, including defense, disaster, and many type of tasks. We can automate it. It is having high level of intelligence where we can teach for variety of tasks than the conventional CNC machines and other kind of technologies. And the advantage is that, if there is a disaster, a nuclear kind of a disaster, suppose, the person can sit in a very safe area and he can do whatever human level task in a much more efficient manner in this particular location. That is one aspect to it. And also we can program using high levels of human intelligence, so that even the robot will learn how to do different type of high level human level works. That is also one of the aspect. I'm not showing this video since I'm running out of time. Just getting into few things like these are some of the experimentation we are doing, like putting some high tension wires by GenBot, and again we are trying to teach him how to draw. These are silly things. And this is one work we are doing in the industry of taking some material for a welding job. So the robot will dictate the material, it will realize it, it can take it, it will plan itself for different type of manipulation, ultimately leading to an end goal. That's the idea. So different industry we can use this. This is again all that was prototype. This was one of the technology we are now delivered to a client with a height adjustment also. Properly, designed it to handle normal doors and construction areas. This is some use case which is already been deploying for construction use case, overhead use case. So this is the latest and upgraded GenBot, which we already deploy one for Zoho in the Kotarakara facility. And again, we are working similarly in parallel on bipedal walking. We call the project GBot. Um, some animations. So from semi-humanoid form to a humanoid form, that is our ultimate goal. So that's it. From in terms of robotic research, I just want to show that we are doing great stuff. We are trying to place Kerala in the global robotics and AI market and potential. That is our vision. And definitely today is my objective also to spread this word to the research community. Whoever wanted to join us or support us in this research environment, we are happy to be a part of it. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Vimal, for reminding us that when passion meets purpose, impact is inevitable. We are now especially proud to have among us today a dynamic woman leader, Ms. Sheila D.S. She is a seasoned professional with over 35 years of R&D experience at ISRO, specializing in space vehicle guidance algorithms, mission planning, and analysis. A postgraduate in instrumentation and control systems, she has been instrumental in developing mission critical technologies. She now serves as the CEO of Space Labs Analytics and Dynamics Private Limited, a Trivandrum based aerospace and defense startup delivering mission design software, embedded flight systems, and navigation solutions. Over to you, ma'am, to address the gathering.
Thank you. Uh, she has introduced me as a women entrepreneur, but okay, I have only 3 years of experience as a woman entrepreneur. More than that, I have 35 plus years of experience as a women scientist in ISRO. I joined in ISRO, Vikram Sarabhai Space Center in 1985. And I'm fortunate enough to join in a key area, niche area, just nothing but mission design, navigation, guidance, control, and simulations. So which defines the path and the controlling the total rocket systems and the total rocket itself. So since I got an opportunity to work, I think I have only 10 minutes time, so I will just few narrations I will do. like since I got an opportunity to work in this niche area, there were no women engineers in this area when I joined. After me, I think after 3-4 years, many women engineers joined in this area with post-graduation control systems. So I was lucky enough to get a very generous and kind and motivation, motivate lot of motivation, a very superman as a boss. Two people, one as my division head and one as my immediate boss. Both of them always ask for the, they don't bother about how much time you work, but they do monitor only at that time. They want the results should be available. So it was nothing but the hard work which put me in this, and I could learn quite a lot through working day and night in that area, and I could develop a lot of software and systems for many missions of PSLV, GSLV, and I have actively participated in the Mangalyaan mission, in defining the whole mission, and the Chandrayaan mission. So I'm proud to say that I could do all this because it's a hard work and your passion towards the work. So, so no doubt that why I have selected this area as my, when I started my career as a entrepreneur, because this was a passion, and as soon as I superannuated from ISRO, soon the declaration from central government has come that the private entrepreneurs are allowed to work and contribute in the space and defense area. So immediately that point of time, there were two startups, one in China and one in Chennai and one in Hyderabad in the launch vehicle area, and I was with them as a mentor to develop the systems for the launch vehicle. So slowly I got the idea, why not I enter into this. There was no question that can I, but should I? Because I was comfortably leading a retired life. But it's uh, like I say, that passion never asks for, sorry, for a break, but it demands hard work. So I thought, okay, I will enter this area. I initiated a startup in 2022 in the area of, started with a very small area of developing testbed and test articles, test systems for the software and software testbed for testing the hardware systems. Soon I am lucky enough to get a project from IIT for the IIT Chennai for the defense. It was a major project, and it is an R&D project still going on, and they have given 3 years time. Um, so soon I have appointed, my company is now with 12 engineers, 5 MTech and other BTech from different institutions, reputed institutions definitely. And what I want to convey as my experience from all these fields to the youngsters who are all here is, if you ask me, should I start a, should I start a company? I will definitely tell, yes, you start in your own interest area, your own niche area. You should have a passion in this, and you should pay your almost all time to come up to bring the product what you want from this area, and to, as an entrepreneur or as a leader, the success is how you build a team. So the team, you should not hide any of the technical informations. You should be open in all the technical informations. In that process, while you discuss with the team, even if they are very youngsters, you will also be learning from them. And definitely, another criteria is how you uh, manage with the superiors. That is also equally important. There, like 2 minutes I will take to tell a story. Generally, in every launch, we will be there at sharp Sriharikota for some duration. Till the launch is over, post-flight analysis is over, we will be at launch, minimum of 1 week. So during that time, we'll take the lunch from lunch, dinner, everything. They will from the Sharp hostel. So one day I was sitting for the lunch, and one of a very senior person was sitting opposite me, and the the food serving person came with a puppet, and he started giving a puppet. I said, no, I don't want, I don't take puppet. Then suddenly the senior told, no, no, you give her, she will take, she will eat. And she was about to give me, then once again I told, no, I don't want. Then he took it away. And he gave me a lesson that day that, Sheila, when a senior person is telling something, first you should obey. Then after some time, you go and ask him, எதுக்கு சார் இப்படி சொன்னான்? That means, why did you tell like that? This is the way you should manage your seniors. So, and the third thing which you should remember is the hard work, and you never lose your passion to the work, so you will succeed. And if you ask me whether anybody, I can start in space sector, I think there are a lot of opportunities in the space sector, and you need definitely a leader, a mentor, because it is a complex area, and it is not that difficult to get a mentor in Trivandrum, because we have 3 lead centers in Trivandrum. One is Vikram Sarabhai Space Center, another one is Inertial Systems, another is Liquid Propulsion, which covers most of the areas of rockets. So I would say, yes, definitely you can start with, but you keep the passion and you select your niche area. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thanks to all the speakers for that very insightful session. As we're running short of time, we may not be able to take any more questions. I'm sure these speakers are available with us for the tea, and the audience can interact with the speakers. We'll now move to the next session, the panel discussion. Thank you, speakers. Thanks for joining. We'll move to our next program in the schedule, the panel discussion with the theme Scaling R&D for Impact, Collaborations at Work. Coming up next is a panel discussion on the theme Scaling R&D for Impact, Collaborations at Work. We are joined by highly distinguished professionals. Our moderator, Sri Hari Krishnan R, Executive Director, KSIDC. The panelists for today are Dr. C. Anandaramakrishnan, Director, CSIR NIS, Thiruvananthapuram. Mr. K.V. Subramaniam, President, Dhirubhai Ambani Life Sciences Center, Mumbai. Professor K.P. Sudhir, Director, Raftar Agribusiness Incubator, Kerala Agricultural University. Dr. Sheila D.S., Space Lab Analytics and Dynamics Private Limited, Thiruvananthapuram. And Sri Sivan Ambat, Entrepreneurship Development Institute of India. We'll begin the panel discussion. I request the moderator and all the speakers, all the panelists to kindly occupy your seats on the dais. I invite all the experts for the panel discussion onto the dais. I request all the delegates to extend a very warm welcome to the speakers today. Our moderator, Sri Hari Krishnan R, the Executive Director, KSIDC. Our panelists, Dr. C. Anandaramakrishnan, Director, CSIR NIS, Thiruvananthapuram. Mr. K.V. Subramaniam, President, Dhirubhai Ambani Life Sciences Center, Mumbai. Professor K.P. Sudhir, Director, Raftar Agri-Business Incubator, the Kerala Agricultural University. Dr. Sheila D.S., Space Lab Analytics and Dynamics Private Limited, Thiruvananthapuram, and Sri Shivan Ambat, Entrepreneurship Development Institute of India. Can we have a round of applause to welcome our speakers from the delegates? Thank you. We are now proceeding with the panel discussion with the theme Scaling R&D for Impact, Collaborations at Work. Over to the moderator. I welcome the moderator, Sri Hari Krishnan R, Executive Director, KSIDC, for the further proceedings. Sir, please.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, esteemed panelists. So I'll be short with my opening remarks. I think we are running a bit late on time. So we'll start with certain numbers, like since you'll be hearing about R&D from the morning and you're all from the R&D sector, can anyone please tell me how much India spends on R&D currently? Anyone in the audience? Am I audible? Yeah. How much India will be currently spending on R&D? Percentage of GDP or something? Sorry? Yeah, 0.7% of the GDP. So, by any chance, how much some other developed country, for example, USA or somebody, will be spending? Yeah, reasonable. Yeah. So, what we see is as countries progress and they reach a higher stage of development, the contribution of R&D as a percentage of GDP is definitely higher, and we are definitely on that path. If you are seeing how the startups have increased in India from, let us say, 2018 onwards to 2022, every year about 12,500 startups have come up in average. In Kerala, about 1,500 to 2,000. So a lot of progress is happening, but there's certain difference in how R&D institutions are run in India, or the percentage of contribution to R&D where it comes from. Ours is mostly government driven, whereas most of the other countries it is driven by the private sector. Like it's 60-40 percentage or 70-30. So ours is mostly driven by the government sector. So we need to reverse this trend or make the R&D more academia driven. That is how it happens in the developed countries. So there are certain positive things happening, like the industrial environment of the state of Kerala. We are seeing a lot of positive changes in the recent years. We recently held a Invest Kerala Global Summit in the month of February 2022. So there was a lot of interest. We got about 430 good proposals amounting to 1.8 lakh crores of investment. And in that, in the months amounting till now from February, we have been able to convert almost 100 projects into the construction phase, which amounts to about 32,000 crores of investment. So these all have started construction. These are all expected to complete in the next 2 to 3 years. So a lot of positive changes, a lot of investments are happening. But when we look at the R&D side of things, exactly what is happening in Kerala, there are a lot of good R&D things happening in the governmental sector, but how does the academia fare? So if you are taking the NIRF rankings of the universities as one of the yardsticks of how, since the R&D is also part of the ranking curricula or the infrastructure, so how we if we see that, we'll be able to find that we don't have many R&D institutions or academics doing R&D work heading the rankings. we have 3 universities and only 1 engineering college in the top 100. So that is something we have to change, and this change has to be led by the academia more so than the industry or the what you say R&D institutions. So what the government has been trying to do is we have been trying to come up with certain concepts like making internships mandatory for the engineering courses with the help of KTU, and coming up with a concept called as campus industrial parks, where any educational institution has 5 acres of land to spare, they can set up a campus industrial park. So we are expecting some industries will come and collaborate there. Also in our various meetings, we are encouraging the industries to come and set up center of excellences in various campuses. So recently BPCL has agreed to, or they have already started and have agreed to do further about 7 center of excellences are coming up. In KUSAT, 4 industries have come up and set up some center of excellences. Daikin has set up, Geojit has set up in sustainability studies. There is another center of excellence of advanced materials and center of excellence in laser and polyometric studies. All these are coming up since the industries are being nudged by the industries, either they are themselves taking lead or the government is nudging them to come up and have more academic collaborations. It should be the other way around. Like what the ideal scenario should be that the academic institutions should go out, reach out to industries, request them. We have these courses. We have all these good faculties who are experts in this. Come and set up some centers here, or we can work on some certain collaboration. So kind of a model shift is required if we want to move our R&D percentage or the contribution to GDP, or how much R&D is happening in the country. A lot of positives are happening, like we have with us Dr. K.V. Subramanian, who is leading one of the finest R&D institutions in private sector in the country. And we have various experts from the government sector and those who have done very good in the startup ecosystem as well. So I won't be taking further time. I'm sure we would like to hear from our panelists, so we'll start. So I'll start off with Dr. K.V. Subramanian. So Reliance Industries has been doing wonderful work in the field of bio-life sciences. And the sector is expected to grow manifold, like it's already contributing a significant portion in R&D and product development. And I think in the next, by 2030 to 33, it's expected to grow about 4 times the life sciences sector in India. So what initiatives are happening with respect to the life science sector in Reliance Industries?
Okay, so thank you first of all for this opportunity. Reliance Life Sciences, we focus on medical biotechnology. So what we did was to initially focus on 3 areas. One is in plasma proteins, second is in biopharmaceuticals, and the third is in small molecule oncology products. Now these are what I call also ran kind of areas, because you can't start by assuming something which is very significant risk, because we are part of a private sector enterprise and are constantly under scrutiny for the returns on investment that you make. So that was a phase 1. In the recent past, we have taken up some new areas which are more in the nature of innovative technologies. So one area that we've been working on is in gene therapy. So we've taken up about 10 gene therapies. The first one of those gene therapies for hemophilia B will come into clinical trials, phase 1 clinical trials this year. And then we have several other gene therapies. The next one will be for spinal muscular atrophy. The holy grail in gene therapy is how can you deliver these therapies at very aggressive cost. The Western world, it costs anywhere from $1 to $2 to $3 million for each therapeutic dose. So our whole objective is, and that's one level of innovation. How can we bring them at aggressive costs? The other areas in oligonucleotides, we are also involved in mRNA-related research, not only for therapeutics but also for vaccines. So these are the new areas that we've been working on, based on a realization that at some stage we have to migrate from being an also ran to also get to the frontier on the envelope as far as research is concerned.
Thank you. I'll come back to you with more questions now. Dr. C. and the Ramakrishnan, so what new research are going on CSIR NEST? What is the new focus areas?
Thank you so much. Actually, CSIR NIST, we are nowadays looking into the world first or game changing technology. That's what most of our research is focused on that. One such research is that biomedical waste conversion. We know that recently a interstate issue also is there. For example, whatever the biomedical waste is takes place in the Trivandrum, it has to be treated in the Palakkad. We made it a integrated system, disinfected system, two-stage system that can be converted all the biomedical waste, including the body parts, into the soil additive. We made the system, we put up the system in the AIMS New Delhi. Right now it is running on that. And once the data is confirmed, we wanted to implement throughout the
In
country.
AIMS it is being done.
AIMS New Delhi. But that's the one technology. Another one, vaccine vial monitoring. India is the highest producer of the vaccines, and also we are exporting. But the monitoring system we are importing from the outside country. So only one company manufacturing. So now CSIR NIST has developed the own monitoring system. Very soon that going to be implemented. First stage is over. Second phase we are starting the printing stage. So that also second company in the global, second technology in the global available. All the VVMs, vaccine vials, we can use it that. And then vegan leather, you may be well aware of that. CSIR NIST technology, 90% natural fiber we made it. Polyurethane was very less. Recently, we talked to the Rural Development Ministry. Now they announced the scheme exclusive for cactus leather. You will get a 40% subsidy, up to 2 crore subsidy you will get set up in the unit. So technology will be provided by the CSIR NEST, but subsidy and all the funding will be given from the ministry. That's what we made it. And apart from that, this August 15th, we are planning to announce diabetic rice from the CSIR NIST. And it is the high amount of the protein, more than 20% protein, low GI as good as around 54. Testing trial is going on. So we are planning to announce and launching this product very soon. And then CSIR NIST has taken the national-wide sustainable packaging mission. We wanted to bring the alternative to PET bottle. So total processing line, including the lid, all we are developing, and alternative to multi-layer packaging. And CSIR NEST is going to set up the India's total testing of biopackaging, biodegradability testing, microbial testing, as well as the microplastic migrations. And then waste, if you look at Nedumangadu municipality, we have taken that 10 ton per day capacity plant will be set up by the CSIR NIST in the Nedumangadu municipality. That's the first plant. And already request has come from Tamil Nadu as well as Delhi municipality. We are going to Delhi on. Tamil Nadu is the Manargudi municipality. We are setting up the similar type of plant. So integrated plant, all the plastic solid waste separated. Solid will be converted as RDF and plastic will be converted. Now even Tirupati Devasthanam asked us to evaluate, is it possible to set up? So this is the what now we are focusing on, little bit different than earlier classical basic research, going for the applied research. Apart from that, what you asked, the startups. We have the innovation centers, Kerala Startup Mission also tie up with us. We are incubating the startups to start their innovations as well as working closely with the scientists. That's what we are working.
Okay. Thank you. Dr. Sudhir, so as he was telling about a lot of innovations happening and you have very successful agro-business incubator. How do you take these things, like if there were a lot of industrialists sitting here listening to what Dr. Nanda Ramakrishnan was telling, they would have been really excited, like a lot of opportunities where they can invest and develop. So as an agri incubator, how do you connect this thing, or how has your experience been in that?
Thank you. Very good afternoon to everyone. I'm heading Agri-Business Incubation Center of Kerala Agriculture University. So he was asking about the connection. So we have a strong connection, means academia industry linkage, and actually the most of our research R&D is also focused in the incubation center. Whatever the research is doing, that is actually for the demand from the industries. So especially agri-based. So the agri production segment into the value addition, entire chain, whatever innovation is required to enhance the production and productivity, And those startups working in that line, we are supporting, we are mentoring, and in the morning session it was mentioning about the validation. Validation part is very important, and at the same time the academy industry linkage is also very important. So this is the linkage. Being Agribusiness Incubation Center, actually we are the linkage between the industry and academia. So under after Agribusiness Incubation Center of Kerala Agriculture University, so far we have incubated 245 agri startups. And this agri startup doesn't mean that all with agriculture, because we are actually promoting the a hybrid startup, like computer engineers working in agri solution, and electronics engineers working for the agri solution. So if the startups are coming with an idea of for example sensors, to make more precision and cheaper sensors, we are concentrating on that one. And many are coming with many good solution for the nutrients as well as water based sensors, then IoT robotics section in the harvesting, then in the field operations, farm mechanization, people are coming. So all these startups, and we are linking it with the industries. So most of these startups, as I mentioned, this nearly 245 startups, this almost 50% of this 245 startups are actually in industry based, already into industry, and almost 30% are into domestic market, and 10% into export also. And in India, I think our Agribusiness Incubation Center of Kerala Agriculture University will be the first incubation center who is going to start export of the food products from Kerala Agriculture University main campus to GCC market. Okay. So that is going to be, it is going to release on 12th of this month. Okay. So that is actually a working model, and means government can also, that is because government is also fostering the parks, students parks or entrepreneur skill parks in the university campus. So this will be a role model for the university system also, in the education system. That means which can include some industrial, a mini industry model can work within the campus, university campus, and that can be used for the upskilling of the student skill also in that line.
Thank you, Dr. Susan. Dr. Sheila, so I was listening to your speech about how important it is to have mentorship in this space technology sector, especially. So in these kind of crucial sectors, can you give some examples of how you have mentored someone, or how some startup or a business person who had an interest has been able to benefit from it and have been able to move forward?
Thank you. I have a startup initiated in 2022, working in the niche, one of the niche area for the launch vehicles, aerospace and the defense. And though I started in 22 April, in 22 November itself, I had taken one MTech student for the project for nearly, she was with us for nearly 1 year, and we did not give her any work which we were working at, but we were concentrating in the, we have given a work in another area which ISRO itself is coming as a development for the debris in the atmosphere, identifying the debris, management of debris, and mitigation. So she has done a beautiful work under our guidance. She has developed a test tool and she has developed a test bed also. And I'm happy to announce that now she is continuing PhD in that area. And the question what he had asked, in my speech, what I mentioned was, see, a person who, now the defense and aerospace is a area where lot of startups and the companies are coming up, and lot of hopes in the profit also. So what I feel is, if anybody is interested, I strongly suggest Trivandrum is the best place in the space startup, because we have 3 centers, R&D centers and development center, in Trivandrum, which are Vikram Sarabhai Space Center, where we have almost all areas, the research and development, and we make the products also. And Inertial Systems Center in Vatirkav, we develop the inertial systems and make it flyable for the launch vehicles, which can be used for the defense area also, and of course the liquid propulsion systems. So many, in fact, as soon as the mechanical people have come out of the college, many have approached me with the idea of starting, but they have a fear of like entering into the high-tech area. But if you have a perseverance, I feel you will get a good mentors, because there are a lot of people in and around Trivandrum, retired hands who had spent nearly more than 30 years, and they have a lot of experience in that area. So the new research, I mean new people, once you enter, it takes a lot of time, because this is the area which will not give you the product the next day. It takes a lot of time. But if you have a mentor, you find out a mentor, it is very easy. Any ISRO person you ask, they will direct you to a person who can assist the person, and you can use them. They will definitely help you. They will be ready to guide you. ISRO people always have that tendency of, or have the mentality of giving the whatever information or whatever knowledge they have, they are ready to pass on. So if anybody has, you please approach me. I will direct you the right person. You please identify your niche area, you identify your passion area, and come to me. I will definitely direct you to that.
Thank you, Dr. Sheila. Sri Shivanam Bhatt, so can you explain what are the steps involved in an entrepreneurship involvement, or what are the stages they should be going through so that they reach a product development stage, or when they approach the market? Before that, what they should be doing?
Good afternoon to all. I represent an institution called Entrepreneurship Development Institute of India, which represents at pan-India level. We are doing entrepreneurship promotion in all its spirits, right from identification of the beneficiaries, developing a right kind of business opportunities, analyzing its possibility of profitability. Today, I was hearing almost all the sessions what was going on here, and everybody is positive about research, but when we analyze, India spends around 0.79% of GDP for the research. But as an outcome, when we look at it, in 21-22, there were 3 lakhs publication has been come out. When you get into the depth, only 3,000 patent has been registered. There is a huge vacuum. Let us take the example of China. It has 7.9 lakhs patent registration.
Huge difference.
Huge, huge. See, even compared to the international context, when you take the research investment with other modern developed countries, say that Israel is spending more. Israel is spending more, followed by US and Germany. Compared to that, India's contribution is too low. And at the same time, though this 0.79 compared to GDP and the populace, it is high, also analyze slightly on contribution of human resources towards early. What is happening that we have approximately 262 researchers per million, where it is 5,000 in Korea, 9,000 in Japan. So this gimmicks has to work positively towards India's development of India. And research and development should be one of the core area for the growth of the nation. So creating entrepreneurs is one of the best model. And when you create one entrepreneur with one particular model, only he himself is coming out. Also, as you have noted down, there are 2 sectors. One is private sector as well as government sector. government sector is contributing towards 60 percentage of the R&D fund, wherein 30%, 35% is for private sector. When we do research in private sector, what is happening? It's going to the particular company or particular individual. 60% is contributing to the nation. So by doing more contribution towards research and development in the national wise, we try to give more job opportunities to the public, because if private entrepreneurship only for himself, research national level, we have 171 research institutions in India, national level. So when we pump money into that spectrum, we can have better kind of ecosystem. And EDI is one of the agencies who has contributed for startup evolution in the country. So similarly, we also try to do best kind of research institution. We try to capacity building of the institutions. We also try to capacitate scientists towards identifying right kind of profitable product line for the country. This kind of activities we are taking care of. So one of the best things that what we our core area, identify right kind of individual and also right kind of opportunities. That's the core that we are taking care of first.
Thank you very much. So again, Sri K.V. Subramanian, so when government sector, like what we said, we are contributing to 60-65% of the R&D that's happening in the country. But about 15% only actually materializes or becomes a successful project out of the R&D contribution that goes into. So what is lacking there? Or a person who has done a lot of, put in a lot of years in the private sector in the R&D field, what is the difference between both sides? Or how, from this side, the government things should be improving? Or is it the same thing in the private sector also, like the conversion into success is still lower that there also? How can we match that?
I'm not sure that I'll be competent to talk about much about the government sector, but what I can say is when we work on R&D, there are a few things that we look at. One, I keep telling my colleagues that research cannot be an end in itself. Research is a means to an end. And that end you have to see in something that is useful for society. For example, in the area that we work, it's about patient benefits. Maybe in another area, it's about farmer, crop, productivity, and so on. So there has to be, and once you get that right, you know that you're addressing a fundamentally large opportunity. The second thing that I normally tell people is, when you work on a research project, you have to worry about scalability, which is a very appropriate theme here. So, and one of the aspects in which you can get scale in the larger context of the opportunities, manufacturing. So you have to worry about research, what it is going to serve, how it is going to scale up, and the manufacturability aspects of it. The third thing that we normally worry about is, and I always make this distinction between capacity, capability, and competency. So if I take up an area, I can create capacity for, let's say, producing a certain product. Let me take an example. Let's say I have to manufacture biopharmaceuticals. I can create a certain capacity to manufacture biopharmaceuticals. That alone is not enough. I need that facility to be capable to meet certain standards. For example, whether it meets European or US standards. And the third is you also need competency to run batches. You may have smaller batches, you may have very large batches. So this is the third aspect. And the fourth is economics. We are constantly driven by economics. Because at the end of the day, you invest something, you expect certain returns. And you can have a balance between what gives you return in the short term versus what is going to give you longer gestation returns. So everything that we look at, we calculate the economics, whether it is worth it. And at the end of the day, I need to have the capital to invest. I need returns. And then you should have the courage to drop something which is not making sense. You might have spent something, you work there, and then you know it's not getting anywhere. So it's like, answering a multiple objective test. You can't be stuck on one question. If you don't get the answer, you move on. And so this is how we look at, and maybe in the government system, there is more basic research happening. That could be one fundamental difference, whereas we are more focused on applied research. And beyond that, I'm not able to say What's the big difference between government and public sector?
I'll request Dr. Anantha Ramakrishnan to supplement on that to what KV Subramanian has said. How does it exactly happen in the government sector? You are heading one of the niche institutes.
Yeah.
And
Basic.
also please answer that question, like why some of the researches in government sector, like a large portion of it does not come into that market stage or product development stage. Where could be that issue that is happening?
No, we can't distinguish between the government sector or industry sector. Now, even we are also asked to generate a money. That's what I said. All the technology what we are making, it's like almost even equivalent to the private sector what is doing it. But government sector, especially for the PhD students, they used to work on the basic science and basic research because that can be go by publications and all. That's what the science is built, and based on that, most of the private sector are also working. The translation where it is happening, that is the what we need to see that. For best example, what Sir has mentioned about the scale. The scale we are asking, like less than 1 lakh liter of pharmaceutics. That's what even Reliance Life Science. But now we need to go on beyond that. We need to talk about million liters. So when we talking about that scale, yes, we are in the game. Otherwise, still we are speaking on the lower level or the pilot scale or middle level. So this spectrum has to be changed. We need to scale up whatever we are doing in the lab, convert it into the pilot scale, then the last scale. But each stage we need an input has to go. But that means every level you need an innovation. For a best example, if you look at what the question you are asking, right now, high-tech trade, China is the number one. 800 billion size of the high-tech trade they are doing. India is less than 1%, less than 30 billion worth only we are trading it. So this is what the problem, that innovation index has we improved from 30 to 79 to 32, that's fine. But we need to improve the high-tech trade. That means we need a lot of input of the scientific input has to go there, then convert the translation research, converting into the scalability, then move on to the business model. Then it's possible to move all the directions to what we wanted to do. That's what if you look at IIT Bombay or IIT Delhi or CSIR labs, now a lot of startups is coming. Your data also saying 1,60,000 startups have come, 111 unicorn. Till 2017 we have 42 unicorn. How 111 unicorn has come with the last 10 years time? It's all because of innovation. Today also we have seen robotic innovations. So all the small level they're starting, they're building that. See, issues comes, you have the idea. How to sell your idea to market. If you're able to know that, yes, you can do the translation. That's what institution like a CSIR, all other institutions, we try to bridge the gap between that. Yes, you have the idea, but you are not able to sell in the market. If you wanted to sell the market, you need a scale. That scale, if you're able to fill, yes, we can succeed on the whole value chain. That's what we try to do, and we are very closely working with the industries. So many industries, because they are also now need, they can't develop the infra, what institutions has the infra. So that's what we need to have a collaborations, then is possible. The best example, what we are planning to do it in the Life Science 360 Park. The exclusively we are going to put the biomanufacturing hub there. So totally we wanted to move on to that direction. Yes, that will work out well if you are able to take it each and every stage. Innovation, scale and the market. All three one can look in the initial stage itself, possible to reach out to the market.
Thank you very much. Well articulated. So, Dr. Sudhir, like, what other sectors incubators are available in the state of Kerala? You're leading the agri incubator sector. Like, do we have enough incubators in the state, or there's a huge vacuum? Like, you said that about 250 units or startups you have been able to help with the incubation and moving on to the next stage. Is there a gap in the other sectors, or enough incubators are there?
Yes. Incubation system, because no, as Dr. Anantha Ramakrishnan was also mentioning that no, number of startups in 16 it was only 500, and now it is almost more than 1,60,000. And in Kerala itself we have incubations units nearly 50 number. I think there is no lacuna in the number, okay, because we have enough incubation centers in Kerala, and even in agri and food sector itself we have nearly 15 plus incubation center, starting from Trivandrum to Kasaragod, all ICR Institute and CSIR institutes, and then Agriculture University itself we have 3 incubation centers. And so as we see in our many incubation centers are there, but still that pilot plans, because no, the startups need confidence, and from the lab scale, as he was mentioning, the industrial scale, we should that bridge that gap actually between this lab to land, and that is actually the role of incubation centers. So we are working through, and we have in our incubation center we have plug and play system, so that if someone is coming for a production of a particular product, so they can choose the material and they can make their own line, process line, and they can come up, they can refine that product. So that is the confidence they are getting from Kerala Agribusiness KAU Agribusiness Incubation Center. So the incubation centers are coming, when the startups are coming and they are taking the product, and then they are selling the product, okay, and some startups are taking some process line and for 1 week or 2 weeks, and they are market it, means initially they are doing the market survey, and then they are going to the market, and once they get the confidence, they are spin off, they will spin off and they will start their own industry. So this is what it is observed from Kerala Agriculture University Agribusiness Incubation Center. So 2 or 3 groups are coming now together and using the entire process lines in Agribusiness Incubation Center. And that is what I told in this month. We are going to one full consignment. One container is flagging off from Kerala Agriculture University Agribusiness Incubation Center campus, and that will be the first from in the university. And apart from that, actually for the innovative technology through Kerala Agriculture University, we are giving up to 25 lakhs grant also. So that 25 lakhs grant is given to the technologies with the innovation and commercial scalability. We will not look only for the innovation, because as you were mentioning, the universities or R&D institute will prefer the some basic products, and that may not be scalable. In industrial level, practical applicability will be comparatively less. So we look for such application level products, and which has a commercial scalability. At the same time, we will see the sustainability also. So these 3 factors will be the innovation, then commercial scalability and sustainability. With these 3 approaches, definitely I think the startups and industries can come together, come forward, and KAU can support the technologies with related to agri or food sector. And even many startups are working in the area of waste to wealth idea also, waste to wealth idea, and many are exporting to Europe. For example, the coconut leaf straw and coconut leaf pen, one startup is making wonderful product actually. So his main clients is in Europe. So means people are actually we are actually ready to pay for the environmental cost now, okay, unlike the it means we are going for always the cheaper product, but things has changed now. It's
That
changing.
is now factored into the production.
Yes.
Dr. Sheila, you were mentioning that Trivandrum has one of the best ecosystems for space-related startups. So if we take the country as a whole, from 23 to 24, about 4,000 startups have started in these deep tech fields like AI, space tech, advanced technologies, and semiconductor design. So how many of those might be coming up in this Trivandrum ecosystem, or what other great space tech ecosystems are there in the country?
So, okay, to this question, I feel in Trivandrum, in the high-tech area, there are four areas. One is the application area, one is the system area, third is the satellite area, and fourth is the launch vehicle. So there are a few startups in the application area, because that is the area which gives you the income immediately. So high-tech area definitely it, needs expense. It is an expensive area. So people are really afraid of entering into this. With the aid of government and with the aid of like systems what the Kerala government has, I think few people are coming up, but not in Kerala. I think in India, especially in Gujarat, there are quite a lot of industries which makes the hardware and even the satellite systems in Bangalore, Hyderabad, everywhere it is there. But I feel from government side, if we get a support, a lot of people will be ready to initiate, because this is the place where you get a intellectual support. Trivandrum is the place where you get a intellectual support. But only thing is how do you meet the expense? So for example, I tell you, I approached many banks and government agencies for financial support when I got the project from IIT. But unfortunately, uh, I could not get from any of the agencies, because everybody asks, uh, like, what next? What is the product? What you give out? When the product will come out? But my invoice says it is a R&D project for 3 years. So that system of supplying or supporting the incubators or startups financially from the government, and and to this extent, what I feel is we should work in collaboration. So, like high-tech area takes a lot of time for a product to come out. So, right from the innovation. So, what I feel is if the R&D area, academia, industries and startups and the government works together, the ecosystem works faster, and people will more people will come in this area to put on their hands. Once you have the collaboration, academia and R&D will go into deeper area with the research and all. With that output, industries will make the system faster, and your startups will make it agile, and of course, government with funding and with the resources. So now the present system in Kerala is each startup in high-tech area should start from scratch, and there are no resources. So all the resources have to be made by the startup. So if government put a common resource, then everybody will be happy to use that, and that process, the expense from each individual will be less, and duplication of work will not be there, and of course risk, they should share the risk and share the responsibility. And one thing is one should make sure, government should make sure that the intellectual property, how do you make that system should be there. With that, I feel the people will be more happy to enter into this area. But slowly people are coming out, but not to the upstream area. In Kerala, most are in the downstream area.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Sheila. So, Sri Shivanambat, so it's a question tying up all the comments that has come up. So, in private sector, Sri K.V. Subramanian mentioned that they have, from the product development, they have with a vision on how to market that. Like, and Dr. Anantha Ramakrishnan was telling that the focus on primary research, the pilot study, and then taking it forward, they are also focusing on that sector. Dr. K.P. Sudhir was mentioning about how in various sectors the incubators are contributing that product comes to a marketability. And Dr. Sheila was mentioning that government should be pitching in and pulling in some common resources so that these things put forward. How can you as an agency, instead of government, come in and collaborate these things? Collaborate all the sector, the researches that are happening in private sector, the government sector, the incubators.
See, the common problem that all R&D spectrum faces, it's their challenge. Researchers are basically functioning as theorists, and the output that has come out, it should directly reach to the clients. It is not happening properly. So almost all, whatever may be the contributors to the research and development, whether it is government, private or any other, the output has to be reached to the utility, the consumer. That's a challenge. For that purpose, we may have to inbuild the entrepreneurial capability of the researchers. Either because unless until this gents reach to that person who has done this research, it will be only in paper, or it will be as a demonstration piece. It is not the purpose. So we may have to get into the entrepreneurial attitude or entrepreneurial culture to the researcher, irrespective of who are maybe the contributor, and profitability scenes. Because if you developed a product, if you developed some kind of norms, how the people will be try to buy it or try to engage out of it. For that purpose, if you sell, there are a large number of MOUs has been shared today. And along with that, we will also be in a position to share a project profile for that if need be. If this particular product, which are the concerns it's addressed, but at what level it becomes a profitable venture. This kind of the point has to be taken care of. This will be always for improving the research product, and it will be taking into the community. That will be my call for this purpose.
Thank you. So, while I was giving the opening remarks, this is a wish list. Like, how can the R&D in India be academia driven? Like the colleges, universities, how they can be made to take a lead in the R&D? Do you have any live examples where Reliance Industry is collaborating with any universities for R&D? How you help the products from there to be scaled up? Generally, how can we reverse the trend? This I would like to pose to all the panelists. Like, currently, what is the scenario in your experience? How we can strengthen the R&D culture in the universities, make them tie up with R&D institutions, with the private sector R&D institutions, government sector R&D institutions, and take these projects to a startup, from a startup idea to a scale up and marketability. How to do that in the universities like it is happening in other developed countries?
I think the first stop is in understanding the kind of research that is being done in different institutions. So once, I think today there is that much of an understanding is not there. For example, if you take the healthcare sector, look at all the institutions. Many times when you actually go and meet, last time, I'll give you a simple example. I was here in BioConnect and I met Dr. Sri Kumar. That gave me an understanding about the institute that has been created for advanced virology and the kind of work that I have been doing. And we were also working in a similar area. So then we found that there is a possibility of a connect and working with the Institute of Advanced Virology. So that set a series of discussions that we had, and that translated into an MOU. And today we are on the pathway of trying to co-develop a few things. In some areas we are looking at bioassays, testing and so on. So I think first is, once you know the lay of the land as far as which institutions, what kind of research is, that's a starting point. And second is, once you have that,
sorry to interrupt, but are any of the academic institutions, universities taking any step in this regard to reach out to find out what R&D institutions are doing, in which sector they are doing, how we can collaborate? Is there such a drive from the universities or academias?
So one is, we can ourselves look for and see what is being done. I myself have visited a lot of research centers in this country. Second is, there are a lot of platforms that can be created where the research that is being done either in private sector or the government sector can be highlighted, and hopefully that will kindle some opportunities for people to work together.
That's a great suggestion. So currently we don't have any such platform where we can...
There are, but there are not too many.
Okay. Great. Thank you.
Same question. If you look at ANRF itself, is a government of India created to make it a government institution with the industry. That's the purpose ANRF has brought it, and BIRAC is the best model. We operated ourselves and it's created a lot of jobs and industry creations in the country, especially in the biotechnology sector. So seeing that, we made it into the ANRF system. but it takes some more time to see the result. Having said that, if you see that 0.7% to GDP, but our outcome has increased. That is not simply as only a institutional support, it is the industry support as well. So that is taking place, but the
So
trust.
how can these universities be incentivized more to do more research, have more tie-ups?
No, that's the problem where it lies the trust between the industry and as well as institutions. If the once the trust built, automatically they invest more in that particular institution, they are started working together. That first crack, you are able to do that, then it's possible. Then second is the IP. Who owned the IP? Most of the industry wanted their side and most of the institutions wanted. The sharing IP is the another issue. These two, three things, the trust, IP, then outcome, how we are going to do that. Some of the institutions allowed to start that Section 8 company to take a stake on the, what is the outcome. For example, IITs, but CSR is not allowed. So there some more issues are there, how to take the profit share. Only royalty basis or profit share. So these are the some issues we able to sort it out. We may able to convert is a really tangible outcome, and also institutions can make more money out of the R&D.
So who should be taking lead in this, like to drive this thing? Which is the correct agency positioned or?
We can't say either institutions or industry has to take care, but the responsibility mostly with the institutions is because government funded. See, institutions can support the industry, industry create a job, industry will create a finance. So that's what we need to go. That circle has start from the institutions, then outcome will come from the industry output, either job creations or the employment creations or the fund money whatever they generated for our country. So it has to start from the institutions, but the circle has to be filled. Otherwise, both will operate very, very silos.
Thank you for that insight. So I'll just ask one last question since Minister has arrived. So since you are from the academic background as well, like how it is currently happening in universities and how it can be improved? Same questions.
Good question. Actually, most of the industries, actually, whether it is pesticide industries or food industries, actually, they are coming to our agriculture university, and we are helping them for the validation and also the refinement of the product. Okay, and many of the existing food industries, like whether it is, I'm not mentioning the names because it's a government forum. So most of the now the food industries in Kerala state, actually, they are coming to our incubation center and they are refining their product for the R&D. So, and their projects, whatever they require, we are assisting through our student research also. So that way, actually, we can do it. And because most of them actually they don't require the IP also, they want the technology transfer. So in that way it's okay. And naturally, of course, when it comes to the IP means who's the idea, from where the idea comes first, then refinement, of course, that is only secondary. So the idea was first, and if it is with the industry, naturally it will be with them only.
So thank you, esteemed panelists. So with that, we'll conclude our session. Thank you all for patiently listening to us and being a part of this discussion. Good day.
Thank you, sirs, for all the valuable insights and for the very active discussion. Thank you for joining us.